Hi, Mr. Pepperell here, and in this video I'm going to have a little look at cables and plugs, what they're made out of and why they're made out of it. Okay, so the first thing I want to think about is what are the casings of plugs and sockets made from? Why is this material used? Well, both sockets and plugs are pretty much always made from a hard-wearing insulating material, usually a stiff plastic. Why? Well, because it's important that they contain the live wires which are inside that you don't really want to come into contact with your hands. And a majority of appliances in the UK are connected to the socket using these 3 pins, 1, 2, 3, 3-pinned plugs. So the humble 3-pin plug that we've got here is, in my opinion, it's actually a brilliant bit of design because every single part of it perfectly does its job. Okay, and the 3 pins on your plug are connected to one of 3 very specific wires. We've got the first wire, which is covered in brown plastic. That is our live wire, always coated in brown plastic. Our second wire is the neutral wire, which is always coated in blue plastic. And finally, we've got the earth wire, which is coated in plastic with green and yellow stripes. Okay, and each one of these wires is connected to one of the pins. So we've got the earth wire is connected to this pin, the neutral wire is connected to this pin, and the live wire is connected to that pin inside the plug. Okay, we'll look at the cable in a bit more detail in a minute, but first let's think about these pins themselves. Okay, now the job of the pins is to connect the cables from the inside of your appliance to the power supply. Now, the best thing to make these pins out of, the pins we've got on top of the plug here, would be copper, because it's a really good electrical conductor. But these pins are actually made of something called brass, which is an alloy of copper. Now, the trouble is, copper's not hard enough, okay, whereas brass is a much harder alloy, and the main thing is also it doesn't oxidize or react with oxygen in the air, and it doesn't corrode as easily. It'd be no good if your pin's corroded away. Okay, so brass is much harder and it doesn't oxidize easily. One of the first things you might notice about the pins is that this one here, the top middle pin, is which is actually connected to the earth. I'll put that back on there. Look. Okay, the earth pin is actually slightly longer. Okay, now, as with everything else with a plug, this is a brilliant bit of design, because what it means is that when you push this plug into the socket, this longer earth pin at the top is the one that goes in through the 3 holes of the socket first, and so it connects the appliance. The earth wire is connected first, which means that the current has got a safe route to flow through. It's a safety feature of the thing before your actual appliance becomes live. We'll talk a bit more about the earth wire in a minute, but just remember that this middle pin is longer, which means the earth wire connects first, which is a safety feature of the plug. Okay, if we just take a little look inside the plug, we can see that the other 2, the shorter pins that we've got at the bottom of here, those other 2 wires are the live wire and the neutral wire. Okay, now the mains live wire is connected to the cable here, so we've got the mains live wire which comes into this pin, which would be this pin at the bottom here, comes into here. It's actually connected to the wire of the appliance via this thing, which is called a fuse. Okay, another safety feature. If too much current tries to pass from the mains live wire through this fuse, what it is, it actually melts the fuse and it cuts the wire off. It's another safety feature, and we'll talk a bit more about that in a future video. The neutral wire, which is this blue one here, is connected to the final pin, which would be that one there. Okay, now you've got to remember which wire is connected to which pin inside the plug here, and the way to remember it, I think, is here is the blue wire, which is connected to the bottom left pin. Okay, so the bottom left blue wire, we say it is the bottom left wire. Well, of course, that's also the blue wire. So there's your way to remember which one's which there. And of course, we've got over here the bottom right wire, the live wire, which has got the brown coating to it. Well, if we say that's the bottom right wire, yeah, you guessed it, that's the brown wire. So you can see there's a trick to remembering which one's which here. Bottom left is blue, bottom right is brown.
So going back to that earth wire again then, why was that earth wire so important? Well, if you plugged something into the mains with a metal case, like say a microwave, for example, if you plugged it in and the live wire inside that microwave was damaged and say it was bashing about inside and it was touching that metal case, came into contact with the casing, the case would suddenly become live, okay? So by connecting up your metal appliance like this, okay, connecting the earth wire to the case, that you can see down there, the earth wire is actually connected and screwed into the metal case of the appliance. If that case does become live, if this live wire touches the inside, the current has then got somewhere to flow. It doesn't flow through you and electrocuting you, it flows through the case, up here and back down the live wire again, okay? So that's another safety feature. It stops you from getting electrocuted if the case of the appliance goes live. If an appliance doesn't have a metal case, if it's got a plastic casing, like my hairdryer here, it doesn't need an earth wire because the case is already an insulator. Okay, so the wire we use for those, the cable we use for those is just 2-core wire. Okay, it's only got the live wire and the neutral wire there. Doesn't need an earth wire because the case is not going to become live. We call this type of appliance double insulated. Okay. It's got a plastic case around the outside, so the wire is insulated and the case is insulated as well. And it's actually shown by a little symbol that looks like that. Okay, so that little symbol on an appliance means that the appliance is double insulated. Okay, so let's just finally have a quick look at the actual cables themselves. Okay, as we said, most of the cables are made up of 2 or 3, if it needs an earth wire, 2 or 3 copper wires that are covered in a flexible plastic coating. Okay, so this is flexible plastic coating there, this is plastic coating here. The actual wire itself is made out of copper. The plastic coating is flexible on the outside because obviously the wire needs to bend around corners and all that sort of thing. Obviously the copper is used because it's a really good conductor, and the plastic is used well because it's not a really good conductor. It insulates you, so if you touch the wire you don't get electric shock and kill yourself. Okay, now the thickness of the cable in your house actually depends on its job. If a bigger current flows through the cable, the thicker it has to be. Okay, this just stops the wire getting too hot when the current flows through it. So the wires that are going, you know, say to the sockets in your house, you can see here that there's a live, an earth and a neutral wire that goes to each individual socket in your house. Okay, the current flowing through those is a bit bigger, so they need thicker cables than the cables that will be going to your light fittings, for example. So just to summarise all that stuff we've had a little think about today. Okay, firstly, sockets and plugs are always made out of a stiff plastic because it's a really good insulator. Okay, cables are made up of 2 or 3 copper cores which are covered in a flexible plastic coat so they can bend, and also it's an insulator. Okay, our 3-pin plug with the pins made out of brass because it's hard and it doesn't corrode, okay, are connected to the 3 wires inside there. And just to remind ourselves, okay, the live wire, which is the bottom right one, so bottom right of the plug, is the one that is coloured brown with its plastic coating. The neutral wire, which is the bottom left one, is the one that is coated in the blue wire, and the earth wire, the one that is the safety feature connected to the longest pin and it stops the metal casing from becoming live, is the one that is covered with the green and the yellow stripes. Okay, so that is what we need to know about cables and plugs. Any questions at all, don't hesitate to tweet me at Mr_Pepperell or email me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for stopping by.